Candid Conversations with Candidates, sponsored by Crowing Power in partnership with Lakes Media Collaborative and the Brainerd Lakes Chamber. I'm Kathy Nagorski with the Brainerd Lakes Chamber, and joining me today is Sue Hilgart, candidate for Brainerd City Council, Ward 1. Welcome.
Thank you.
We'll start with your opening comments, please.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself to the voters of Ward 1 in Brainerd. I'm excited to be running for this position on the Brainerd City Council, and I'm very eager to connect with as many voters as I can prior to the election on November 6th. I'm running for this position because I believe that Brainerd is a city with so much potential, and I want to be a part of bringing that potential to fruition. The fact is, Brainerd has a prestigious reputation for our lakes and leisure activities. We have strong schools and access to excellent health care. What we need is a focus for the future to grow Brainerd economically and to be a place where you can live and work and raise your family for future generations. Over the past decades that I've lived and worked in Brainerd, I've had many opportunities to serve this community. I've been a member of the Brainerd Police and Fire Civil Service Commission, a member of the City of Brainerd Transit Advisory Committee, and in the past I served on the Brainerd Chamber Workforce Task Force, the Rosenmeyer Center Board of Directors, and the Governor's Advisory Council for Faith and Community-Based Initiatives. And currently, I'm active in the Crow Wing County Poverty Coalition's Operation Community Connect and the Health, Human Services, and Veterans Advisory Committee for Cass County. I've also been active in my church as a Sunday school teacher and nursery volunteer. Professionally, I've worked in human resources management in the private sector, in education at St. John's University, in manufacturing here in Brainerd, and in human services at Mille Lacs Academy. I also worked in the public sector at Stearns County for 7 years, and at the present time, I'm a team leader for Rural Minnesota Concentrated Employment Program at the Brainerd Workforce Center, working with unemployed and underemployed people to explore retraining options and to find job opportunities. My college education at Concordia University St. Paul was in organizational management and communication. I believe that the combination of my work and volunteer experiences qualify me to be a strong member of the City Council.
Thank you. Let's move on to our questions. If elected, what would be your top priority?
Well, I think that there are a lot of issues that are pressing and urgent, such as retaining quality air service in the Brainerd Lakes area and maintaining city services during the tight budgetary times. But I really feel that for Brainerd, the most urgent issue as a community is an increase in employment for our citizens. And that would include jobs that pay a fair wage, a reasonable wage with benefits, and be in the private sector. Private sector employers add to tax base and increase revenue to the city.
Okay. As you know, there is a full field of candidates for Brainerd City Council Ward 1. What are 3 things that distinguish you from the other candidates?
Well, my background in human resources management in the private and public sector, I think uniquely qualify me to partake in the business of the city. If you look at city government as running the business of the city, I have good business experience, and I think that I can take that experience and bring it to the council chamber and help make good decisions for the city. I also have innovative ideas that include sharing services across Baxter, Brainerd, Crow Wing County, putting together a succession plan that would include ways to share services. And probably the third thing, I am a woman. There is one other woman who's running for this seat, but I do think that it's good to have gender balance, and that I can bring that to the table.
Okay, let's talk budgets. What would be your budget priorities and how would you pay for them?
Well, budget priorities for a city need to be the delivery of essential services such as police and fire, the infrastructure services such as sewer and water, streets, roads, bridges, and maintenance of those streets. And so those have to be the priorities because that's the role and obligation of government. Funding comes from a calculation that's very complex, and I don't necessarily have 100% understanding of it, but it comes from a combination of local government aid that is funded through the legislature and through the tax levy that the City Council sets each year. That is where the city residents pay their property taxes.
Representing a business organization, this question is important to our members. How will you make sure that the City of Brainerd is business friendly?
I think there's a lot of things that businesses look to the city to help them to stay in business and to make their burden as easy as it can as far as ordinances and rules that they have to comply with in order to open up business. So if the permitting process for business can be streamlined so that you don't have to go to several different offices to get permission to do the same thing, that can be an ease in the burden to cities or to businesses. Also, just to use the tools that cities have to help in redevelopment and development of new business where it's practical. Okay.
Collaboration is a new buzzword in government. What community partners will you work with if elected?
Well, I talked a little bit about the combination of services that could be looked at through the City of Baxter and Crow Wing County and possibly Cass County and other small cities in the area. The Brainerd Chamber has already been collaborating with a lot of the smaller communities, and so that's a good model to look at what you can do to deliver services in a streamlined process. There's models that exist in the city of Indianapolis, in the county of Indianapolis, and here in Minnesota in St. Paul and Ramsey County that are good models for cooperation and collaboration.
Okay. That's the end of our formal questions. Is there anything more you would like to add?
Well, I guess I'd like to say that I am running for City Council in Brainerd because I believe that I can make a difference to the city. I believe that as citizens, it is our duty to be engaged, and I have a long history of community service and volunteering. Serving in this capacity is a next step in taking that civic engagement to the next level. The City Council in Brainerd has had very little turnover in the time that my family has lived in Brainerd, and I'm excited for the opportunity to be a new voice with new ideas. Our city needs to be more innovative in how we do business. I'll be an advocate for innovation and listen to all ideas for how we can become a thriving community. We have excellent schools, health care, and our region has several great employers, but the City of Brainerd has lagged behind in the region, and this needs to change.
Thank you, and thank you for joining our Candid Conversations with Candidates. Please find more information online at votebrainerdlakes.com and be sure to vote November 6th.